Hello, welcome to the Design-Based Learning Podcast.
I'm Mike.
I'm Henry.
And here we are again.
On our episode 6.
Episode 6.
You're
How
right.
to create a shared vision.
How did we come up with this idea today?
I have no idea. You came up, we were just having coffee again. And
On
you
our
come,
Friday, yes.
Usual Friday morning coffee. And what happened?
We went to a school, remember, this week. And then our teacher asked us a question. She was like, our school is trying to implement design thinking into our teaching and learning. So students will need to work on design thinking projects in their normal school time, all right? And this teacher is leading the change, leading the project for the school. And she asked us a question. In my co-planning session with other teachers, I'm facing some difficulties. I'm not getting buy-ins from other teachers, and teachers are not too excited about the project.
And why did she feel that way? Or what was the... What did she try to do to help?
So yeah, we asked her, like, what did you do in there? And she's actually really good. She prepared all the work. She even prepared a PowerPoint for teachers to just use it and then teach it in their classes.
Yeah, so she was very, very proactive, right? She set all the goals. She set all the steps, lesson by lesson.
Yeah, so in that co-planning session, she was going through that PowerPoint and trying to make teachers understand each of the tools or activities were being used in the classroom. And but however, she's facing the problem is they didn't get a lot of buy-in in that session.
So there's no excitement about the project.
Not too excited about the project.
And I mean, yeah, also they were meeting together. They were quite dead. But what happened? What did you ask her about the goals of the project and how the goals were set up?
So that question came in as well, and she answered back like, I'm not too sure whether teachers understand the goal of the project. And maybe that's why teachers are not too excited about it, because they don't know what really is going on in there.
Okay. So what can we do to help our friend, this teacher in this school?
So if we want to get people excited and knowing the goals of the project, there's 2 things we can look at. The first one is creating a shared vision, all right, amongst the team. So everyone knows where we're trying to head to.
So that everyone feels ownership in the project, right?
And the second one is the ownership.
Yeah.
Yes. So people feel like they are part of the journey of doing this together. And whereas before the teacher did everything and it was a one-way kind of interaction, but now we are creating this together.
Okay, so they have to have a shared vision and ownership. And usually this means planning the goal together, right? Setting the goals together.
Yes, it is exceptionally important in any sort of innovation where we work in project teams where everyone knows where we're trying to head to.
Yeah, okay.
And that alignment is super important in making that important in there.
What did you suggest? How do we create this shared vision, the common goals?
So normally a teacher would go to a classroom to do a co-planning session. So we can use the whiteboard that we often use, and we can just draw the student out on the whiteboard. And we want to imagine what the student would learn after this project. So this, when teachers can actually have post-its each, and then they can write down what they want students to learn, the learning outcomes of it. By the end of the project, I want that student to learn blah, 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 blah.
So you draw a student, like to make it alive, draw a student and say, at the end of this project, the student will know this.
Yeah.
Or will have these skills, or will have this attitude towards what this project,
Yeah,
right?
the knowledge, the skills, and attitude.
So they're writing the outcomes, the
Put
goals.
down, yeah. So maybe each teacher can write down maybe 3 post-its, maybe 3 outcomes each, and then they share it with others. So that in a group of 5 maybe, we can all share about our vision, the outcome that we're trying to achieve collectively as a teacher group.
Okay.
So we're super clear about what we're trying to create for kids.
But what if everyone has different goals, or different knowledge goals, attitude goals?
So that's when co-creation happens, right? We're trying to prioritize or filter down which are the most important learning outcomes collectively we want to do as a teacher group. So maybe you just filter down into the top 3. That could be very, very helpful for that to happen.
So you would say, like, you put the post-it notes for the different goals. These are the knowledge goals, these are the attitudes goals, skills goals, and then you try to see if there's any convergence.
Yeah, and trying to converge down to the top 3, and then that can have a very clear vision on that.
And then everyone can discuss, these are the 3 goals we're going for.
Yeah, and as teachers as well, right? As leaders sometimes, the vision is very clear in your head. But however, sometimes if we can just share that vision with people, creating that together, people are very likely to be on board and excited about the journey that we're doing. Just by inviting them on the journey already makes a lot of difference.
So the you would say using a whiteboard and using post-it notes visually outside would be more helpful in the co-creation space.
Yeah, it's all about creating that shared understanding of
Okay.
knowledge amongst the team.
Okay.
That's why visualization is important when it comes to defining the big goals to achieve.
So that's good.
So not only from kids, right? Teachers' perspective as well. Remember, teachers also a personal journey in there. What do you think teachers can do in that too? Not just learning outcomes for students, but maybe for teachers
Yeah,
too.
I mean, of course, the teachers themselves have to check what as they implement this project, what are the bits of knowledge or skills or attitudes that I myself need to acquire. And then you have that collaboration and mutual respect where you try to build off each other, right?
Yeah, and if that is visualized as well, me as a team member, I can try to help you to achieve some of the goals that you want to achieve. Maybe you want to improve on your facilitation skills. I know that. How can I support you in that journey too? So by creating that communication framework inside the team teachers development, we know how to develop into a better DBL teacher as it goes along.
Okay, good. So what else can we do to get teachers excited?
So now we've got the goals. So we can look about how the approaches and plan. How do we get to the goals that we identified? So this is where I think multidisciplinary start coming in together when teachers.
Different subjects coming together.
Yeah, can you tell me a bit more about this one?
I don't know. Well, I usually when you have a collaboration that's multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary, depending how you want to say it, you start with a problem. So I don't know, like one problem we could say is sleeping, right? So people have problems sleeping. Then we ask the kids to do this. Okay, what solutions or ideas you can come up with
to help people to go to
Yes,
sleep?
right.
Yeah.
Then of course, if it's multidisciplinary, the science teacher will have an idea on to solve sleeping problems using their expert knowledge, their science knowledge. Then the PE teacher can use her knowledge about how to solve the sleeping problem. And then I don't know, maybe the social science teacher has a different idea. Maybe
Even Chinese teachers,
even a
right?
Chinese teacher, right?
Maybe they'll talk about literature. What kind of storybooks
Chinese
are great
literature,
for people to
storybooks
sleep?
for sleeping, or they may know some Chinese medicine.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they can use that. So there are different ways of using different disciplines to solve the problem. So then if they understand that the task is about this problem, solving this problem for the students, and it's interdisciplinary, you can get different teachers.
So that's a bit about the agility in education as well, where teachers work in small groups and then putting in the exchange of knowledge and putting to create on something together. And that's the beauty of like working like a startup from teacher. You can get reports, support from other teachers, and building things with different disciplinary of knowledge that can come in there.
Okay.
So that's brilliant, Mike. That's where the beauty of collaboration can come.
So they collaborate in the goals, and then different disciplines can collaborate.
Yeah, so we are starting to get some skeletons on how we can get to the goals. So for example, the goal we're trying to achieve is this. And then in this co-creation session, we're starting to see the skeleton or rough approach of what we need to learn to get to the goal together. And again, by doing this with teachers as a team, everyone is part of creating this.
Hopefully, yes.
And the responsibility and ownerships will be there.
Yes, it's spread around the team rather than just the leader dictating.
Yeah.
And more important, after all this, what do the teachers need to do?
So in class, they started to facilitate, they're trying to do the lessons. And what co-planning sessions will be amazing is for reflection as well. A period of time when students can when teachers can reflect on the experience and share the knowledge of what they learned in the lesson to their team. So that as a team, we are growing together.
So yeah, they have to learn from each other's experiences, right? So they have that reflection mode, right? So how would you go about getting teachers to reflect a little bit more?
So even just a beginning of the co-planning session, like a 5 to 10 minute quick reflection, maybe individually as teachers, we just write down 3 post-its. One of them, it's what I did well in my lesson, what I didn't do well in my lesson, and how can I improve on next time. So if teachers can share their reflection, as a team, we already got lots of knowledge of lots of rooms to improve together collectively. And if we look at education as the consistency of knowledge being transmitted to kids, now we know what we're doing as a team, and everything seems consistent, and we know we're achieving the goals together.
Yes, that's a good idea. I mean, that's the support. Okay, so let's recap. How do we create this nice shared vision for ownership for everyone?
So first of all, create a shared knowledge, shared goal between the teachers, and make sure everyone is part of that.
Yeah, the whole team has to contribute to defining the goals.
Yeah. What about the second point?
Okay, well, the co-creation from different disciplines. That if the project is a DBL cross-disciplinary project, then you have to allow different disciplines to contribute to the creation of the project goals and the project goals. Yeah.
And like the skeleton on how we can get to the goal by the end of the project.
So the frameworks, what are the different knowledge points that need to be given, input points. Okay.
And lastly, reflection. You can use the co-planning sessions for reflection, so that as a team, we know how to improve together.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we know this all takes a lot of time, so it's difficult. So hopefully, the schools, wherever they gives students, teachers time to work on this.
Yeah, and trying to make the co-planning session as effective and meaningful as possible by limiting what we need to do there.
Yes.
So it's actually the energy will be much better if we are everyone participating in there and owning the vision together.
Correct.
Yeah. So
that's it.
That's it for episode 6.
Yes. Good job.
All right. I'll see you guys again.
See you next week.
Next week. Yeah.
Bye.
Goodbye.